This is going to be a deep message talking about what I've experienced in my time and how this has massively changed the course of my life. I want to talk about how things would be so different if I didn't do what I'm going to speak about in this video. And I want to speak about how this sort of mindset is either positively or negatively affecting your life. Let's get into this right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So this time I want to talk about what inspired me to make this video. The other night when my phone smashed, as I spoke about on the channel, I was acknowledging the fact that my phone was getting old. It's time to replace it now, and it's going to be gone. But before I did so, I want to look through all the memories I've seen with this phone. I've had this phone for about 5 years. Bear in mind I'm 20 now. I was about 15 leaving school when I bought the phone. In that time I've seen so much. I've left school, I've been through college, and now I'm in my last year of university. What a shift in a life. But what I see on this phone is a lot more deep than any of this. I see the real moments of my life, in the form of picture and video, in my camera roll. I look back to when I was 16, absolutely killing it on YouTube, making hundreds of thousands of views every single month, and subsequently making thousands of pounds every single month as a 16-year-old. I look back to the period after that when the channel died off, and how depressed I was and how my life was really miserable. I looked at how I felt in that time. I put myself back in my former mindset. How I went from such an exciting period to such a boring and depressed period. I looked a bit further. 17 and 18. Started up my second YouTube channel. Made a lot of money there, over £10,000. And I looked at how I invested that money into the stock market. This was at a time where a lot of stocks were running up in the stock market back in 2020. And even in that time period, I made about £30,000 in the stock market. Admittedly, I lost a lot of that money afterwards, but that was also a really exciting time period. It was like, wow, this is what my life can be. And then that channel, well, it didn't really die off. I just couldn't really be bothered with it. There's a lot of reasons for that, but we'll not get into them. I'm just going to touch upon the point. The point is, another period after that of low productivity. Not necessarily depression, because I was at university. I was absolutely loving it. But a different mindset shift again. And then I look at my eBay shop in the last year and how that's worked. And now I look at the fact that I don't have it and the pictures since then. I look at the results I took, the statistics and screenshots, because I am that sort of geek. And I looked at what I'd seen. I looked at the people that I'd known throughout the years. I looked at my friends. I looked at all of the people that I'd met, the people that don't hang about with me anymore, the people I'm not friends with anymore. You know, the people that I knew in school that have basically fallen off and all that kind of stuff. And what I'm saying here is, my life has been through a lot of phases, like all of you guys, so this is not anything special. I'm just giving the context to the story. The special bit is, I looked at the contrast in these phases, and then I looked around the people that I know now, and how their life is going. Not necessarily to compare myself, I don't think that's a good thing to do, but just to think about what they may have gone through. Because, you know, I could know someone for 5 years, but what happened before that, and what's even happened in those 5 years when I wasn't there? And I think about it. I know people that are doing really well, probably better than me. Maybe not necessarily in terms of making money, but they're happy. I'm not saying that I'm not happy, but you know, they've got it all together. Nice car, nice girlfriend, house of their own, all that kind of great stuff. And I just thought about the opposite side of the spectrum. The people I know that aren't doing well in life. The people that are a couple of years older than me. Sort of depressed, not living their maximum potential. Never had a girlfriend, never made any money, never had a job. And I think, what has separated all of these different lifestyles? And that gets me thinking, it's about the mindset shift. You see, around the age of 17, my life could have changed forever and gone drastically worse. Again, I was really upset and depressed for a good few months, if I'm honest, around the time that my first YouTube channel died off. It was the dream for me, and it even still is, which is why I'm making these videos. I thought that channel was going to ride me up to 100k subscribers, and it was going that way very, very quickly. I could see myself with a plaque, and I could see myself with the money. It wasn't all about the money though. It was really about the passion for what I did. I love YouTube, I love making these videos, which is why I'm so committed to doing it, even if they don't get that many views. But once it all went away, I didn't know what to do. I was in a rut really, but I knew what I needed to do. I didn't know what I necessarily wanted to do, but I knew what I needed to do to sort myself out. I knew that that was not where I wanted to be. I wasn't going to be sat in the house all day, depressed, playing Xbox. Obviously at age 17 I wouldn't do that now, but I wasn't going to do that for the next year, 2 years when I had to get over my stuff. It was time to do something new. I put my head in to a piece of paper basically to write out all of my ideas for new business ideas. And even at 16, 17, I had the intelligence in a way, not to, sort of blow my own trumpet, but I had some sort of a mindset to look forwards and say, well, I know about YouTube, and then I thought, what do I want to learn about? That's where I came up with the great concept for my second YouTube channel about the stock market. I wanted to learn about the stock market and I knew how to make videos. I could combine the two. And then I saw my second success. Within 6 months of that, as in 6 months of initially losing the first YouTube channel, I was at a point where I was making way more money, getting way more views, and really having a much more meaningful impact on both my own life and the life of others as I discussed and spoke about stocks which I am looking at, and also explained some of the knowledge that I was learning along the way with other people. But imagine if I hadn't have gotten out of that rut. This is what really separates the winner from the loser. Life could have been really different. And a lot of you guys are in that position now. A lot of you guys will be in that position or have been in that position. I'm going to be in that position again. I know it for a fact. It's just life. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes you lose that job. Sometimes you get broken up with. Sometimes you get evicted from your house. All of these things can happen. But it's really just about the mindset. It's a really different sort of person when you know that this is not what I want to do. I want to sit in bed eating chocolate all day. But it's time to get back up. Let's work harder because of the failure, not in spite of it. That's why we're working harder. That's the difference between the winner and the loser. If you want to see yourself do well, you need to acknowledge that there's going to be things along this road that are truly heartbreaking, that are truly soul-destroying and dream-crushing. But that doesn't mean that the dream's over. I'm going to go back to my old fire analogy. When you're running a fire, burning up a fire, the fire can be at its last spark, about to go out. But if you put on the right material, you can have a big blaze again in about 10 minutes. That's just like your life. Don't let the spark go out. When you're in those dark days, know, learn, and understand. Feel what you're feeling. Know what you're feeling. Know how angry you are, how upset you are, how emotionally distressed you are. And take that as your motivation and inspiration to get yourself out of this mess. It's also becoming a cliche phrase, but no one is coming to save you in life. We all know this now, but it is really true. And as a 16, 17-year-old, not really knowing what to do after losing my main stream of income, I was like, what do I do? No one can tell me. No one could tell me, and no one can tell me now. My eBay has gone down, about 6 months ago. Well, probably less than that, actually. But my eBay's gone down. I'm like, what do I do? No one knows. I know. And even I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But what I do need to do is something. Whether it's just making these short YouTube videos for you guys where I document my progress and hopefully you guys like it as well. Whether it's starting up my blog that I've done, starting up a shop on Etsy, doing some drop shipping to Shopify. You got to do something. If you've been kicked off of your game, there's not an excuse to give up. This is how you end up with absolutely nothing. People always use this one, and I'm sick of hearing it, to be honest. I hear it from all sorts of people. You know, the old, oh, I've lost my job, it's heartbreaking, I might lose another job in the future, my girlfriend broke up with me, I might lose another one in the future because this went wrong, that, my YouTube channel didn't work, I lost money in the stock market this week, let's not do it ever again. But that is the biggest mistake you can make. Think about it, like, from a logical standpoint. When we feel these heightened emotions, we lose our sense. We act with our hearts, not our heads. We don't take the statistical approach that a normal, logical person would at these times. And that's what makes us lose. There's no reason why you can't get back up. What I've learned is that I just keep building stronger. When my second YouTube channel, when I kind of gave up on it, I was also a bit down. I'm not going to use the word burnout, but if it was anything, it was that. I was just not that interested in the subject anymore. I was like, well, now I really am stuck for ideas because I don't want to make YouTube videos for some time. This was 2 years ago. And I'm like, what comes next? And I did not know. But I was experimenting for months. I was trying all sorts. Everything was failing. And then I stumbled upon it. I stumbled upon my eBay shop. And as I've said before, within 6 to 8 months, the eBay shop was making £10,000 a month in revenue. If I'd have given up at age 16, when I was making, a couple of £1,000s a month if I was lucky, average maybe about £500 plus. If I'd have given up at that basic level, I'd have never got to the £10,000 YouTube channel total on the second channel. If I'd have given up at the second channel, I would have never got to the eBay shop making £10,000 a month in revenue. And if I give up now at the eBay shop, I don't know what it is, but I won't get to the next level. This is not even a story about business. This is a story about life. Not everyone's interested in running a business, and that's okay. Not everyone's dream is to make a YouTube channel. I'm not going to knock whatever your dream is. Maybe you just want to have a nice family, a nice wife, a nice car, all this sort of stuff, a decent job. That's fine. But don't give up on the dream. Don't give up on the journey just because a few things go wrong. And going back to the point, this is what separates those strong of mind, those successful in life, from those who aren't, sadly. Some people see the challenges as part of the journey. Some people hate the challenges. I hate the challenges. I wish that I could have just carried on with my first YouTube channel, continued to grow it and make more and more money, and that was me finished, and I was fine to retire at age 25. But it didn't happen. So what choice do you have? You've only got one choice really, if you are a self-respecting person, and if you want to see yourself do well. Don't feel the sad emotions for a minute. Close your eyes and think about how happy you were when you had that thing going well. Now imagine what that would feel like if it was 10 times better, 10 times stronger, 10 times more successful. That can happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, maybe 1 year, depending on what the dream is. But if you give up on it, it's never going to happen. And that's what I learnt from looking through those photos. And that's the thing, life is really what you take out of it, I guess. I mean, I'm only starting to learn this now myself, but I'm glad that I am. I'm learning about what's important and what's not, what matters to me, what matters in my life, and what I want to do. I hope this video isn't a boring rant. I just want to kind of explain what I've been thinking about recently, and document this as much for myself in the future as you guys. But with all of the stuff that's been going on recently, it's allowed me to think. It's allowed me to see things in a much more clear light of, it isn't always that black and white. It's not a case of, this went wrong, let's finish with it. No. It's about knowing when to cut your losses. Admittedly, if something's not working out 10, 15 times, and it's likely to not work out. For instance, if I wanted to play the lottery and become a billionaire, there might be time to cut my losses. But if I want to have a business that makes £10,000 a month, I'm going to keep trying, because I know it's possible. And I guess that's a big challenge that I'm going to be facing for the rest of the year and really into 2024. What comes next? What will it be? I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to maximise my potential of getting there. Whether it's trying throughout this YouTube channel to make more content, better content, that more of you guys like. Whether it's trying more and more with different business ideas or doubling down on the ones that I already have. I'm going to keep going on this journey. It's been a really fun journey. And this is the essence of life. That's another thing that people forget. Like, I've seen a lot of variance in my life of, different things, different levels of economic status, different levels of income, different levels of happiness, different people, different crowds being around. And the bad days, actually, are some of the memories, because when you sat down with somebody, they don't really want to hear about, everything went well, it was fine, from being a baby, I got everything that I ever needed, and it was great, and I'm happy with that, but really down, you're not. People like to hear a struggle story, because they can imagine themselves in it. But it's not a case of a fairy tale, it's not a case of watching the TV, and this protagonist on the TV is doing something in life, and they've made it to being successful. I'm not saying that you're going to go from being, some TV character to some superhero. But you can go from being someone who's not in your best form to someone who really is on it. And that is something which you can do. So thank you for watching this one so far till the end. Hopefully this is one of the more interesting videos that I've uploaded to the channel. It's one that I'm going to look back on and think it's sort of a turning point, in the sense that I'm acknowledging things that I haven't really done so for the first time before. And I hope you guys will join me on this journey of kind of self-discovery, business, and financial growth, alongside personal development and improvement as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.